It is often said that genealogy is about time and place. And if that's the case, then maps will help us understand the place a whole lot better. Today, I'm going to share a number of free resources that will help you access the maps of where your ancestors lived so you can get a better idea of how geography impacted their lives. Howdy, I'm Devin Noel Lee with Family History Fanatics, and I am fanatical about family history and teaching you how to do it. Let's get to the topic of the day. So let's begin diving into some of the ways that you can find free historical maps online to better understand your relatives. The first thing you're going to do is Google it. I know. Why do everybody say just Google it these days? Well, because it's so helpful. So here are two terms that you're going to use when you are Googling your ancestral map. You can do historical maps and then put in the region, and go ahead and use the quotes, just not the brackets. So historical maps bought in Germany. That'll work. Another thing you can do is you can add the year to it. So historical maps bought in Germany somewhere in the 1840s. So I could say 1848, 1840, something like that. Let's hop over to Google and Google it. So here I'm on Google, and you can tell when I filmed this video by the iconography right there. Historical maps, Baden, Germany. Now, one of the tips I have is sometimes these links will take you to a paid site, but remember, I want to look for something that's for free. So I'm looking for entries, URLs that says like Roots Web. That's a free website. Family Search. I'm looking for Wikimedia. That is a free location to find a site, or .edu. So it took me to a collection that actually is linked to in the show notes, and I clicked on this one, and here's that map that I had from Google, and I can utilize that for free because it's from an educational institution. I just got to make sure that I give correct citation when I use it. Now you can also put the year on. So you can go ahead and put in a year, and now things are trying to focus on 1848. So here's the German Confederation. Sometimes you have to get through Pinterest in order to access the map that you're looking for, but here you go. Here's the Revolution of 1848 and the map. For Google Maps, it's not always historical information that I'm after. I'm actually after two things. One, what's the relative distance between one location and another? And two, what geographical features like bodies of water, mountain ranges, and things like that, what am I facing now that they probably faced in the past? And that helps me when I go back into historical maps to make sense of things. Now here on Google Maps, I'm trying to calculate a distance between Pinkerton, Ohio to Groveport. So I'm going to go ahead and click search. On a modern map, it shows you the routes of today, but you can get a rough idea that it's about 11 miles apart. Try the different routes. It's about 11 miles apart. You could say maybe 10 miles apart. The other thing you can do is you can click to satellite map, and you can see, okay, there's a lot of forest and farms in this area. Granted, this is modern, but another benefit is zooming way out. And you can notice, okay, this is in central Ohio, and it's south of Lake Erie. You could also look for what rivers are taking place. But let's say you had something in Maine, and it was right down here, you would know that there's a lot of coastal activity taking place. So while it's not historical, it is free, and it is helpful to calculating distance and understanding geography. Have you used the Internet Archive? It is a great resource for free maps. Let's dive into it. But if you want to know more about Internet Archives, you're going to want to check out the show notes because I have other training on how to get some really cool things out of this free resource. So on the Internet Archive, you don't want to do this URL box. That is for a website archive. Instead, you want to come down here and type in quotes, map of, and the location you're looking for. Click go. And then you can actually filter by year the more historic that you want. Let's go ahead and do some of these older ones. And now I'm just looking at the map of Boston. Now, don't judge a thumbnail by its cover image. I would have overlooked this one until I actually clicked on it, realized it's multiple pages, and there is my actual map. And I can zoom in and understand the different parts of Boston. If you are enjoying online genealogy research, make sure you check the link in the description below for a free guide for 10 online genealogy resources that you need to try. Now, Dave Rumsey is a free map resource where you can explore the world. So, because I have some Irish fans, let's go find some Irish maps on Dave Rumsey. Let's type in a location in Ireland and see what comes up. So I don't see any maps that are specific to the place that I'm looking for. And I actually find some historical images worth exploring. But I am able to find an 1866 map of Ireland that I can explore and find Galway Bay and a number of other locations. Now, this is when Google Maps will make things pretty handy. You could look for that Irish place on a modern map on Google Maps and then come over to the Dave Rumsey collection because you have a rough idea of where the place will be located in Ireland, and then you can find it on a map. So, another good way to use multiple of these sources in tandem. In the United States, the Library of Congress also has free maps to access. I particularly loved using this resource to find railroad maps. Let's dive in and I'll show you what I found. The map collection from the Library of Congress, with the link that I have for you in the show notes, takes you to a variety of map collections, Civil War maps, France and America maps, lots of different maps that you want to explore. Now here is the railroad line that helped me understand all the different places where my German immigrant ancestors would have made connections in order to get from Baltimore, Maryland to Ohio. So they could have taken this railway, the B&O Railroad, over that way, or they could have taken this combination of rail lines from Philadelphia or this little strip up here. So these maps are great, and being able to navigate them is awesome. Now, while the Sanborn maps are part of the Library of Congress, they are unique, particularly in the United States. They were developed to show the fire liabilities of the structures in a location. And so you can learn a lot about the buildings that your ancestors lived in. Let me show you an example. Now, the Sanborn fire and insurance maps from the Library of Congress are pretty amazing. So when you click in, you can see the overall city. This is in Amarillo, Texas. And you can go forward to zoomed in segments of the city. So you can see this is a rail company car barn, and this is a church, and these are different facilities on Polk Street. And the different colorations that you see represent different type of structure and materials in the buildings, which would help plan fire and rescue missions, but also calculate insurance. If you want to learn more on how to research in the Sanborn maps, you need to hop over to the show notes because some of my friends have had excellent training, and I'll link to those in the show notes. But that's not all. There are even more historical map collections online that you can access for free. If you want access to them, you know what to do. Hop on over to the show notes over on our blog, and you can continue discovering more links. And if you're not from the United States, you definitely want to go look at those links. If you want to learn more about other online genealogy research tips and tricks, then check out this playlist right up here. And if you are ready for something new, check out this one right here.
Yes! Nailed it on the first take!